Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 71804, Arin's Battle Mech from the January 2024 wave of Ninjago Dragons Rising sets. This set contains 104 pieces, 2 minifigures, and will retail for $15.99 in the US. This was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. I'm doing a bunch of early 2024 LEGO reviews right now, including the rest of the Ninjago sets, but also LEGO Sonic, LEGO Dreams, LEGO Monkey Kid, and more. So if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm getting super close to 100,000 subscribers, which would be an amazing milestone to reach. Also make sure to let me know in the comments which 2024 Ninjago set you want to see an early review of next. Thank you all very much for your support, and now let's get into the review. So here's the main build of this set, Arin's Battle Mech, and this set is of course a 4+ set. Now if you're not familiar with 4+, it's basically LEGO's line for younger kids. It does still use full-size bricks, but there's no super tiny bricks and all the techniques used are very simple. So Arin's Mech definitely feels like it's a part of the 4+ line. It uses these 4+ mech legs, which have been coming in sets for a few years, and they're big and very silly, and honestly I don't know if they've ever looked good on a set. They're great for very young kids, but sometimes we do get 4+ sets that are like also valuable for older collectors, and that's just not really the case here, in terms of the official build at least. There are some interesting things in here which we'll get to in a moment, but yeah, I won't pretend these legs won't look like out of place in a normal LEGO collection. There is articulation on them though, you can kick them back, move them forward, and when we come up to the waist there's a little swivel just like the full-size mechs this wave. This mech uses the Marvel or Nexonite's clamshell pieces. You can see the Arin minifigure just fits right in here, he plops on those two studs right there, and you can close it back up. This is a printed part in the chest, however that comes in most of the sets this wave, but it's still something that's nice to get. Now the most interesting part about this set to me is actually the arms, because that's of course the SCCBS joint, which is one of my favorite parts. I just loved when that family of parts was introduced, and I get really excited whenever we get new colors. And weirdly, this is an all-new exclusive color for that part in this set, because yeah, that's dark green, that's not normal green like we already had, which is very, very curious. I wonder where else that's going to be used, because that's an excellent part to have. It's just weird that it was introduced in this set, especially because this piece exists in bright orange, which is Arin's color, but no, they chose to give us dark green here, which makes the mech a little more unique, and hey, it still fits Arin because he does have the green belt. But then yeah, of course, very simple designs for the arms. You have spikes coming off at the shoulders, sword in one hand, blade in the other, and the blade can spin, which I'm sure is very fun for kids and fun for me. This is just a lot of fun to do. There's how the mech looks from the back. So yeah, I really don't have anything else to say about this one. It's a 4+ mech, it's like the other 4+ mechs. Does it look good? No, not particularly. But is it good for the target audience? Yeah, I'd say so. And honestly, the biggest compliment I can give this mech is the top and bottom pieces are actually held together well. On some of the previous ones, they came apart really easily, which I thought was pretty bad for a 4+ set, because I could see very young kids pulling that apart and not being able to get them back together. But no, there's a good bit of friction in this one to make that a little more difficult to happen. Not much else to say, but I like the parts in this set, especially the new SCCBS joints. Happy to have them in that color. We also have this little side build of a weapon rack, and it's only a couple of pieces. It holds 2 swords as accessories for Arin. But then the other 2 side builds in this set are actually a little more interesting because they're villain builds, and they're some of the few villain builds in this entire wave. Because thinking about the entire wave, we have the Wolf Mech and the Kai Mech set, and I think that's about it. Like there's a tree in the Sora Mech set, and a little terrain piece in the Eagle set, but those aren't really villain builds, they're just nature builds. But no, this is something properly for the villains, though of course it also has a little bit of terrain. It's just this little shrine, and I actually like a lot of the pieces used here. For one, we have this printed shield piece, which is the Gong of Shattering. That is going to be what Roz uses to command his army in the show. And this is not the only set that this comes in, however this is the cheapest set that this comes in, because as of right now, the only other set that's in is the Eagle the Master Dragon set, and that's what, $70? So getting it in a $16 set is something that you guys might want to consider, if you do want this part, but you don't want to get that big set. We also have this rock piece in dark blue, which is just a great color for that part. I think that was used in the Monkey Kid Ocean Temple set, I forget the name of that one, but I believe this is now also the cheapest way to get that. Little tree with magenta leaf, which is a fun touch, very unique look. But my favorite part is these 2 parts right here. We have a sparkly purple crystal and a sparkly purple rock piece. Now this crystal came in 2 LEGO Dream sets, one from the first wave, one from the second wave, but this larger rock piece I think might be new and exclusive here. And that looks so cool, because this color is typically only used on small pieces and in like LEGO Dots and LEGO Friends, and like LEGO Disney Princess. But we don't see it on big parts that often, and we don't see it outside of those themes that often, so it's really cool to get this in Ninjago, and that's an amazing piece. Like it almost looks different colors depending on how you reflect it in the light. I really hope we see this part more in future waves. But anyway, this part folds back, and you can see inside there's a little hammer, which I suppose you could use to hit the gong. For a 4+ terrain build, this is actually really great. Fantastic job all around. And then the final build in this set is yet another villain build, and this is a villain vehicle. So this is one of 2 villain vehicles in this entire wave. However, it's a 4+ vehicle. It's just fine. Because it's so many big parts, it does look a little bit clunky. I think it's meant to be a flyer. It's got these 2 wings on the side which can flap, and the spears on them are a nice touch. But yeah, the main body here is huge. We do have a disc shooter at the back right here, which that's fun for play. You just push in on that disc piece and it'll shoot out. No print on that or anything, it's just a solid purple, but you get a total of 3 of it in this set in case you lose it. There's the Wolf Mask Warrior actually sitting on the build, so this is another one just like the Mech, where I think for the target audience, very young kids, this is pretty good, but it's not one of those builds you could include in a normal collection and it doesn't feel out of place. This one I actually think would fit in pretty well. This one, not so much. Now coming to the minifigures, here are the 2 in this set. We have a new version of Arin as well as a Wolf Mask Warrior. And this is one of 2 sets this wave to come with this new version of Arin, and in my opinion, this is the most disappointing figure of this entire wave. Because of course, this wave is all about mechs. The ninja's new suits are the mech pilot suits, and I guess this is technically Arin's mech pilot suit? I don't know, he doesn't really have one, because yeah, this is just his first wave figure with a new hood piece, and it just does not mesh at all. Gold with bright orange is not inherently a bad color scheme, I think that could work, but they didn't modify his torso or legs at all, and there's not like any gold there, so it kinda just looks really ugly to me. Like, this is one of the worst looking ninja suits I've ever seen. It feels like a magazine promo. It does not feel like an official combination of parts. But yeah, Arin and Sora both do not get new mech suits this wave, even though the rest of the ninja do. Which is a real shame, because like, they're the new main characters of the show with Lloyd. They should probably be prioritized over the old ninja. And Sora, well, I wish she got a new suit. That one I can accept a little bit more because at the very least she is the tech ninja, right? So already her old suit is kind of a mech suit, but Arin's just in a hoodie and a ninja belt, which worked with his old armor piece in the first wave, but just slapping this new mask piece on here and not changing anything else feels very lazy to me. That's honestly my biggest disappointment in this entire wave. I almost would have preferred just getting the wave 1 figure again to this, because this just looks bad. At least that figure looks good. So yeah, this is a huge disappointment, definitely the lowest point of this wave. All of that being said, this is now one of the cheapest ways to get Arin. He also comes in a $10 gimmick set this wave in the same exact suit, but I mean, that's something. He was a little more expensive in the last wave, so it's good to have him for cheap. And I do really like the character. I'm glad he's accessible, especially in a 4+ set, because very young kids who are getting into Ninjago will probably like Arin because he's one of the main characters, so it's good to have a way to get him for a low price and for a young audience. Here's how he looks with the mask piece removed. You can see it's just the same face print from the first wave. If you have an extra hairpiece, maybe you can slap that on him. That way he looks a little bit better without that hood piece. Because I do like the design of the torso and legs, it just does not fit that new mask. I really don't have too much else to say on him. But then the Wolf Mask Warrior is genuinely a very good figure. He's one of the generic villains for this wave, but they have an incredible design with this dual molded mask piece. And this is the full version of this figure too, with the shoulder pads. Those don't even come in every set. But the 4+ set is one of the ones they come in. They also have this really cool sword piece, which is not new, but I believe this is a new recolor for it. There's a look at their back torso print, and you can see I can take the hood off, and that's the face print underneath, where they've got the blue eyes and blue teeth on one side, and normal eyes and silver teeth on the other side. Great villain design. I've talked about them in probably, what, 7 or 8 reviews at this point, so I'm running out of things to say, but I do really like these guys, and it's good to get one here. I'm happy he's included. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? Well, of course, it's a 4+ set, so it's not going to be for most people. However, there are some positives I want to give this set. For one, the price. 4+ sets are usually ridiculously overpriced, like they cost way too much money for what you get, and that's actually not the case here. $16 seems perfectly fair. In the past we've gotten mechs like this in 4+ for 10, so considering the extra terrain build and the extra like villain minifigure, I think 16 is totally fair. And I also really like a lot of the parts that we get here. Nice to get the Gong of Shattering for cheap. It is nice to get Arin for cheap, even if this isn't a great version. But we have like the SCCBS joints and that crystal piece, so even if you don't keep these builds together, there's like things to collect in this set as an older collector. So I think for the target audience especially, this is a great set. If you're buying for like a younger family member and you like want to get them into Ninjago, this is a good set to start with. And for older collectors, there is some value here, but the value isn't in the actual builds themselves, it's more in the parts. So it's not one I completely write off. It's not like one of those sets where I'm like, no, there's no reason to ever buy this, but we've definitely had stronger 4+ sets in the past. But of course, if those are just my thoughts, let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments which 2024 Ninjago set do you want to see an early review on next. But as for this one, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!